my Spanish lesson class. My name is Jorge and I'm from Cuba, so Spanish is my native language. If you want to learn Spanish, this is the guy that can teach you very well. Well, not really because you know a language, you can teach to other people that language, but it's also because I've been studying another 5 languages and I developed a technique how to learn each of them. So my goal is in this program is to pick 100 people and to teach them the language in 100 days. So that will be my goal, and I'm going to do the best for you to learn the language. I'm going to create a group, I'm going to create a community. I don't know how we're going to do that, but that will be my goal. If you want to be one of them, so subscribe to this video and give a like, or maybe keep in contact, because in 100 days you will be one of them that will be learning the language. So let's go to start with the first lesson, that is going to be the ABC, and that will be so important. So let's go to start. See you in the video.
Why the importance of learning Spanish grammar? A lot of people will say Spanish grammar is going to be the hardest part, or learning the grammar of any language is the hardest part, and I agree, it's going to be boring, but learning Spanish grammar is a crucial aspect of mastering the language. Understanding the grammar rules will help you first construct meaningful sentences, express yourself, and comprehend the language with ease. Throughout this course, we will delve into intricacy of the Spanish grammar, step by step. We will start with the basic, often referred to as the ABC of the language, which is the foundation for more complex structure. We will explore different parts of the speech, such as nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, and prepositions. You will learn how to form and use this element in a sentence. By mastering the fundamental grammar concept, you will gain the tools to build sentences and express ideas and communicate fluently. You will discover how different verb tenses, such as the present, the past, and the future, allow you to express action in different time frames. We will also introduce you to common verbs, constructions such as regular and irregular verbs, reflective verbs, and common verb phrases. Understanding the Spanish grammar will not only enhance your ability to communicate accurately, but will also deepen your comprehension of the language. You will be able to read and understand reading tests, engage in meaningful conversation, and even begin to write in Spanish. Remember, grammar is the backbone of any language, and by understanding and studying it systematically, you will gain the confidence to express yourself effectively and engage with a native Spanish speaker in a deeper level. So let's go to learn the language, and without any further, vamos a aprender español. Let's learn Spanish right now. So the next part where we are going to start is learning el alfabeto. In English will be the alphabet, or in informal part we would say the ABC in English. So in Spanish we will say el abecedario. As you can see, abecedario in Spanish will be more saying A, B, C, and D, instead of to say the ABC in English, but it's just a little bit different to note in that. But at the end, it's going to be the same. It's more refers when you say the alphabet. You say you will practice more with the ABC. You will refer to the ABC instead to say the alphabet in English. In Spanish, sorry, it's going to be the same. Instead of say el alfabeto, most people will say el abecedario. Abecedario, ABC. So if we take a look to the Spanish ABC, the reason why it's so important is learning the ABC in Spanish is an essential starting point for English speaking students, because it builds a strong foundation for mastering the language. So here why it's so important. So first one is phonetic understanding. Spanish is a phonetic language, meaning that words are pronounced as they are written. Learning the Spanish alphabet help you grasp how letters and combination of letters sounds. making it easier to read, write, and speak in Spanish. So the second one is the pronunciation. So many letters in Spanish alphabet, such as the double L, that letter we are going to practice, have a sound that doesn't exist in English. So be familiar with these distinct sounds is a crucial for correct pronunciation. So the third one will be spelling and reading. Knowing the alphabet enables a student to decode new words. So basically, you can, if you know how to read the words, you can every word, so you will be able to find new words, improving the spelling and reading ability. This also builds confidence in a unfamiliar vocabulary that maybe you will find. So the fourth one will be the basic language skill. So the alphabet is a fundamental tool for recognizing patterns in the word formation, such as verb conjugation and gender agreement, which are the key for mastering the grammar. So the fifth would be bridging the gaps. So for English speaker learning, the Spanish alphabet highlight both similarities and difference between the two languages. So making the transition smoother and helping you avoid confusion between letters and sounds. Like for example, the V and the B. So later we are going to talk about those differences, but that will make you a similarity that you are going to find in English and Spanish. For some words are going to be similar, so then that would make it easy for you. So in summary, learning the ABC in Spanish is not just about memorizing letters, but also about understanding a structure, sound, and rules that will guide you in the progress of mastering the Spanish language. So let's go first to see right now the ABC. So that is so here, as you can see, this is the alphabet, and here we have 5 vowels, 22 consonants, and also we have 5 digraphs. So later we are going to talk a little bit about the digraph. So we have the CH. The digraph have more combination of letters that make a sound, like a combination of the C and the H. So we have that in English as well. So double L, we don't have that one, or double R. So the G and the U, that make sounds, and the Q and U as well. We are going to practice that to master it. So next, let's go to see the vowels in Spanish. So first we have the A, E, I, and because there is a melody, we say, el burro sabe más que tú. Ayo, el burro sabe más que tú. So the donkey know better than you. So that is just expression that if you don't know the vowels, so the donkey know better than you. I don't know why they said that the donkey would be the dummy guy, but anyway, you got the idea. So it's just a rhythm. A, E, I, O, U. El burro sabe más que tú. So the donkey better know better than you if you don't know the A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so let's go to start with the A. So the pronunciation is open like a, it's pronounced like bat or cat. So you will say a, that would be only a. So a, and that is going to change like in English that you would say in some part we say a or e or something like that. It's going to be always a. It's open pronunciation a. And here we have then the a, and that would be exactly that pronunciation. It's like you say a, and it doesn't change. Don't try to make a confusion with the e. So you will say a like elephant, or maybe you will say bat. So it's a open a. Then we have the e. So here la e. If you see, is a double e, like in English you would say e, and the pronunciation would be like C, or that would be the eagle. So that would be E, and that is not going to change at all in anything. It's always going to be the E. Then we have the O, and that would be a open O. and it's not going to change like anything else. It's going to be always like coconut. That will be the pronunciation, or old. So don't be confused that you say O, that is going with the U at the end. No, it's going to be always O, and the pronunciation is with your mouth like exactly like a O. Then we have the U. Oh, sorry, I make a mistake. You see, it's very easy to make the mistake if you say you, but actually we have la U. La U in a Spanish, U, and that would be like food and blue. So always going to be U. U. No U, like unicorn, it's going to be always U. U, like food, blue, U, U, U. Then we have the Spanish consonant. As you can see in the Spanish consonant, it's similar like in English. Not much difference, but there is some words that you can see that after the N, there is the N with the cedilla that we make it different, and we're going to practice this. So let's go to start with the first letter, and it's going to be la B. B, and it's not much different in English and Spanish. B is going to be like boy and ball, so the pronunciation is B, B. And if you are English speaker, so you will know the difference between the B and the V, because it's very in English it's not like in Spanish. In my native language, my native country, sorry, some people, they will mix the B and la V. So some people, they will say sometimes the B and the V, they don't have much different, but in English they make a big difference. So I don't think that that would be a big problem for English speaker. So here we have a first combination, which is going to be la B with a. So we say ba, ba, and if we say double, baba, and here we have baby. So what means baby? That is a baby. Now, if you pay attention now to what I'm going to do in this, is that I put different color. It's because it's always consonant and vowel, consonant and vowel. So that is how you're going to pronounce, okay? And if there is a vowel that is in front, later we are going to see that. So you pronounce the vowel and then the consonant with vowel. So B, B, and then we have B, ba, then we have B, B, bo, bo. So what means bobo? Can you find it in the dictionary? So that is the way that we are going to start doing this training. So I'm going to have how you write something and how you pronounce something, and then the meaning of something. So sometimes there is some words that I just created, but sometimes also you will be able to find in the dictionary, and that is the way you are going to learn the language, by finding how you pronounce, how you write, and then to find the meaning in a dictionary. You can find it any dictionary, even you can use Google to find what is the meaning. So then we have bo, a, and here we have the first combination of two vowels. So we say consonant and vowel, and then a vowel by itself. Boa, boa, boa. Then we have, and that is what is the meaning of boa, similar in English, I guess. Then we have boo, boo, and o, buia, ia, buia. So that would be with the B's. There's not much difference than in English. The pronunciation is B, la B, la B. Then we have la C. So la C is one of the consonants that have that is a little bit confused, and but let's go to study this one, this consonant that it has the it have something that need to be studied. So the pronunciation for C or la C is like color, okay, color or cat. But as you can say, as you can see, so there is a C. Why you say "se" when the pronunciation is like a cat? Exactly. So if we take a look, Se always was like ka, the pronunciation, but if there is some pronunciation before like centum, you will say kentum before we have the kentum will be like century. But then, yeah, exactly. So here you will see as a Roman. So before the Roman, it was pronounced like centum instead of centum. So centum for century. So after the Roman, they make some modification in a lot of language, and we have the same like in English, where the C before A, U, and O be like car, car, cool. These things happen in Spanish. So in front of A, la A, U, la O is going to be pronounced like a K. It's only going to change when we have the pronunciation in front of E or la E or la E in Spanish, la I, no? Like city or certain or cent. So the pronunciation would be like C, like C. So let's go to practice this. So K when in front of A, ¿verdad? So C and A, K, then C and U, ko, C and U, ku, ka, ko, ku, like ka. Then if we have in front of la E is C, and in front of la E would be C, the same like city or center, right? So only we have when these two, the same like in English. So for you, it's not going to be a big confusion because it's going to be similar like in English when you are going to find that pronunciation. So if we have two, the combination again, we say caca, and caca has a meaning, and coco, and already we practice the O, coco, and that we have now the pronunciation with the la C and la E, we say sebo, and we practice the B and la O, sebo, and also we have baka. So we have the pronunciation of B and A, already we practiced in our last lesson, ba, and then the C and la A, baka. So what mean the baka? So you can find it in the dictionary, but well, it's a cow. And then we have Cuba, and you can see that the pronunciation will be Cuba. It's not like some people in English will say Cuba, Cuba. No, it's Cuba, Cuba. Okay. Then we have as well BC, another combination. And if I make a big long combination, we say Sesiko Kuka. So or we will use all of them. Don't try to find that in the dictionary. It's just a word that I made up. Then we have Boca, and you can find that as well. So as you can see, the C is similar like in English. So if you find a word in English, so the pronunciation is going to be the same like in English. Well, it's just that some with some vowels going to pronounce different, but you know what I mean. So it's the C when if in front of A O U is Ka Ko Ku, and in front of A and E C, C. Next, we have the letter D or la D. La D in Spanish is going to be the same like in English. It's like dog and day. So here we have the first practice, da, like dedo. That is what the meaning of dedo. Idea or idea. So de. Dia, and what mean dia? Duda. So Buddha and Kada, Sede. So that would be most the pronunciation in English. Cuida. So la de is the same. It's just that you say da, de, di, do, do. Da, de, di, do, do. So if you try to use with the vowel da, de, di, do, do. And next we are going to use la F. La F in Spanish is going to be the same like in English as well, like F. So F, that would be how you would say the consonant in Spanish, la F, and that would be like fire, the pronunciation, or food, food, fire. So that pronunciation shouldn't be any problem for anyone speaking English as well. And the first one is fa, fe, fi, fo, fu. And we have some combination, fail, fail, what mean fail, ugly. And then we have fiado, and then we have fo, fue, ca, fe, café, and then we have the letter G. La letra G, the letter G. So this one is going to have a different pronunciation as well. So as you can see, is G, 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 like G. And then, but when you use with some pronunciation, it's going to be gallery. So it's like ga or good. So let's go to see where is the pronunciation. So first we have ga, go, go, the same like a ka, ko, ku. So ga, go, go. And look, we have some practice here. So we have gago, and we have gustar, and we have bigote, bigote, big mustache. So bigote. So that would be ga, go, gu. Now, when we are going to use like G, la letra G or the letter G, when the pronunciation is G. So when it's in front of E, the same like the letter C or la C, in front of E or in front of E. Giga gestar. Giga gestar. So you say he or he. So that is the pronunciation. Gestar. Giga. Like gigabyte, you say giga. Giga. But you say, well, what about if I want to have the G? How you build the G in order to have the pronunciation? Well, you will need to put the U in front of A. If you want to have the pronunciation G, G, you will have to use the U, sorry, in front of A in order to have that pronunciation. And the same happen with the la I. You will have to use the letter U in order to make the G. And that is one of the diagrams that we was talking about when you make combination of letter in order to make the sound. So this is the first sample. So here we have the G that is going to be G and G. So here we have some example, and here we're going to say guerra, guerra, because you are using the U in front of A. So now it's going to be G, guerra, like ga, go, gu. Then we have G, G, guerra. And then we have another sample of with the E. So that would be guitarra, guitarra, and it's like guitar, like guitarra. So I don't think that in English we have like when you use only like um, in front of E, you are going to use gestar, like you will say gestar. In English, you will say ge at any time without the need to use the U. But there is in Spanish that would be that, and it's just also going back to the Roman Empire as well when they have some transformation, because before we had all the letters that was using that pronunciation. So then also you will say, well, if you use the two, if you want to use the U and the E, and you want to use like gu and E, so you will have to put these two dot on the top. So in order to make the pronunciation gu a way. So now you have the pronunciation of U and la U on la E. So you will say gue, way. So if you put these two dots on top of the U, so now the pronunciation is going to be the same like ga, go, gu, and also la e, gue. If you remove these two dots, remember then will be ge. And if you don't put the U, it's going to be he. So there we go. Here we have the pronunciation of the la he, and hope that you will be able to master that pronunciation. So next we are going to use la letra H. H. La H. And la H is going to be like in English, which is the H is never pronounced in Spanish. It's going to be silent. And the same like you would say in some option in English, which you say hour. So in front of some vowels, you will say hour, and the same honest and honor. So the H is never pronounced in Spanish at all, and it's going to be mute. Okay. Also, we have, like for example, in English, we say school, so there's no pronunciation at all. So if we say, let's go to make the combination A, E, I, el burro sabe más que tú. Exactly. So it's because it's going to be the same A, E, I, O, U. It's because it's silent. Even if you put the A, it's going to be the same A, E, I, O, U. And here we have some sample like a helicóptero. So you see, you don't say helicóptero or helicóptero. So you say only helicóptero o hijo, habitación, hielo, horror, hice, Hugo. So very simple. It's just doesn't have a sound. It's just that you need to know when a word is starting with the H, because if you don't put the H, so you will know you cannot say horror. You can put horror or yellow, but if you put yellow without the H when you are writing, people will say, well, he doesn't know what he's writing. And so in some cases, if you don't put the H, that will change the meaning. Only for the people that are reading. So yellow is going to be, even when it's silent, you have to put the H. O Hugo o horror. O habitación, room. So later we are going to practice a little bit more that, and you are going to find some words that also you will say, hey, do you always do I have to put the H in front? But it's only for a specific word that you will need to learn one by one. Then we have la letra J. La J is the J in Spanish and English. So it's similar like the H in English. So if you write this, you will say ha, ha, ha. So that is the pronunciation in English. It's like the H when it's in front of a vowel, but it's with the ha, like house, house, and human. So that would be the pronunciation ha, ha, or ho. So let's go to see some combination ha, he, he, who. So if you see the he, you will say a is similar like when you use the G and A in Spanish, and that is the reason why. So before the Roman, they would say, well, we don't need the he. That pronunciation is because they have the J. So ha, he, who. And here is how you will write ha, ha, ha. So in Spanish, in English, you will say with H. So in Spanish, we will say with J. Ha, ha, ha. And he, o, o. What mean ojo, eyes? Judea, Judea, Aba, Abon, hey. And by the way, that is my name. So some people they say, oh, I don't know how to pronounce your name, and that is the reason, because they say, well, how you would say they are trying to pronounce the J like George, and is no Jorge. So that would be like ha, ho, he, ho, who, or and then the letter G that already we was practicing in front of E, which is he. So you will say Jorge, Jorge, and you are not going to write the letter J and E. So you are going to say Jorge. No, you will say Jorge and don't use the J instead of the G. So that is the J, la J en español, in Spanish, and that hopefully you will be able to practice and get that done with that pronunciation. So then we are going to start with the K, la letra K. K is similar like in English. It's going to be K. This is a letter. This is a consonant which is you using kilometers or karaoke's. So here we have some sample. So we say ka, ke, ki, ko, ku, the same like in English. And the reason is because this letter has been imported from other language. So most of the time when you find this, you are going to write karate, and it's because this is a word that is coming from another language, and it's written with letter K. So in fact, most of letter that you will find that will be imported from other language, and also you will need to know, you will know by one that how you write that, and it's because it's for more from other countries like Russia or maybe Japan and things like that, other countries that use ha. So we have koala, this is another from another country as well. Kilometro, so before it was kilometers, so I think that would be from English as well. Kiosco, we have that. Ketchup. So in general, the pronunciation and every is going to be the same like in English, and because like in English has been important from other countries. Then we have the la letra L. La letra L is going to be the same like in English. There's not much different with this one. It's like llama or library or lol, love. And if we say la, le, li, lo, lu, there's not much different. Bola, and we have leal. So here we have when is the vowel in front of the consonant at the end. Al, el, il, ol, ul. The same like in English. There's not much different where when you pronounce the L. So we have loco and luna, dulce, dulce, and here we have a pronunciation of the consonant and then the U and the L. So the consonant, the vowel in front of the L, that would be U. So you would say dulce, the same like in English. Libro, and letter we have now we have the letter M or la M, la letra M. So the pronunciation again, like in English, is going to be similar like in English. We say mother and we say Monday or mama. So we have some different here. We say ma, me, mi, mo, and mo. And we have some different some sample here when the vowel is in front of the M, am, em, im, om. And one sample we have here is melodia. We have familia, cama, malo, mo, miedo, mula. La. So here we have already some combination with some other consonant as well. So now I think that the M is going to be easy as well for English speaker. There's not much difference. So then we have the letter N, la N. La N in English is going to be the same like in Spanish. It's going to be the same like in English. So that would be like no or normal or numbers, n. So we say na, ne, ni, no, nu, and in front of some vowel is going to be the same, an, en, in, on. So nada, like nothing, canino, femenino, encadenar, número, no, negro, nene. So as you can see, the N is going to be the same pronunciation. Not much different like in English. So very easy to get. So practicing with the vowel and after the vowel and in front of vowel. So it's very easy to pronounce this. Then we have la letra ñ. So ñ is going to be one of the hardest pronunciation that you're going to get. Ñ, and is with the N and the cedilla that we call that cedilla is like an accent on the top. So the pronunciation will, something similar would be like an onion, where you try to put the tongue on the top of the cylinder of the mouth and you say onion, but or canyon, but still it's not really close to that pronunciation because this is only typical for English and for Spanish, and you will say ñ. If you will say onion, you will say onion. So you can see that the pronunciation is different, and here we have some sample ña, ñe, ñi, ño, ño, ña, ñe, ñe, ñi, ño, ño. Ña, ña, ñe, ñi, ño, ño. This is good pronunciation is going to be so difficult to get, but you will have just to master this pronunciation. And we have some similar when you say mañana, tomorrow, mañana, meñique, la niña, niña o niño, boy, muñeca, doll, muñeca, muñuelo, buñuelo. And later we have the letter P, la P. So la P is like in English, P, you would say papa, pineapple. So that would be the same pronunciation. I don't think there's going to be a big difference. So here we have some sample pa, pe, pi, po, pu. And here we have some sample like pomo or piña, mapa, pepino, pañales, o público. So la P is not going to be any difference like la ñ. And again, guys, so I know that for la ñ, like piña, so still it's going to be some practice, and you will have more practice and practice on along to this training to keep practicing the ñ. As you can see in pañales, it's going to be very important to have that pronunciation. So, and for la P is going to be the same, so it's very easy to have that one. So then we have la Q. La Q in Spanish is going to be some similar like Quebec, Quebec, and Queen. So it's the same pronunciation, similar like Q, like Quebec, but the only things with the Q is that only you're going to use it when it's in front of you, and that's it. You cannot use the Q with anything else. It's going to be in English. In Spanish is going to be only used in front of you. And here we have some sample. So because the Q cannot be used in front of any other vowel, so only can be used in front of after a or la I. So can be only used with these two combination. So that would be like Q, U, and A, and Q, U, and E. It cannot be used with another vowel. because the pronunciation the same like Q. If you're using in front of A, so that would be K. We have the C and A or the K and A. So K, that will have that pronunciation. If it's in front of la O, so you will use the C and O like ko, or C and U like ku, ka, ko, ku. So that means that if you are going to use in front of A, you have to put the U and you will say K, and in front of you, key. Like for example, key as a question and key. Only these two. So here we have some samples. So we have the Q and A, U and E. So we say querer, pequeño, pequeño, quién. So that would be K, key, K and key. Only these two when you can use the Q. And here we have another sample like poquito, mar, and equipo. So as you can see, it can be only used only with the U and E, U and E, la U, la E, and la U and la I. Also, we have here meñique. And that's it for the letter Q. Can be only used with U and la E and la I. It cannot be used with anything else, and the pronunciation is going to be like K and Ki. That's it. So next we are going. So the next letter that would be the letter R. And if we take a look, the R will be in Spanish la R. R. And this will be one of the hardest letter that we are going to practice and the pronunciation to practice. So la R, it has three pronunciation in English. Three type of pronunciation that we are going to practice. Some pronunciation you will see like better. Sometimes will be like Roma or Roma. So, but like Roma, but we emphasis in saying Roma. So that would be one pronunciation, and the third letter would be like rain or right. So basically, that would be another type of pronunciation. But let's go to practice this and let's go to see where you can see the pronunciation. So the first one is going to be when it's in front of a vowel. So the pronunciation is going to be strong, and that would be basically putting your tongue on the top of the cylinder of the mouth, like you would say ra, ra, re, ri, ro, and ru. Ran. It's not like ran. It's ran. You have to put the pronunciation mode that your tongue a little to move inside your mouth. Ran. And if we take a look now in front of vowels, in front of consonants, so the vowel in front of the R, so we say R, R, Ir, R, R. So that still would be the same time when is in front of a vowel or after a vowel. So it still is going to be the same pronunciation. And here we have some sample like rápido, fast, reír. So here we have the combination. When the consonant R is in front of the vowel and also when is after the vowel. So now we have the two pronunciation, but it still is going to be the same and strong. Reír, reír, reír. So in two parts. Remember that we was using the color re and then the other color ir, reír. So that would be laugh. And then we have ro, bar, ro, bar. So as you can see, in front of the consonant, after the consonant, it still is going to be a strong ro, bar, o real. Now we have rico, rico, rico. And rico, what mean? Rico means somebody rich, but be careful because this is one of the words that have two meaning. Mean rico, somebody that is rico, depend the contents when you are saying, and also rico means delicious. So depend how you are saying something. Oh, this is rico, or this he is rico. So the same like in English. Okay. So depend the constant is the when you are saying in the words is people will understand what you mean. Also, we have rudo, rudo. Now, let's go to see the second part of the pronunciation, and that would be basically when is the R is between the two vowels. So that is when you can see the second type of pronunciation for the R or la R. So we have here morir. So you can see that it's like a better, better. So you say morir, morir. So now, if you can take a look, the I and the R with the color at the end still is going to keep her pronunciation like ir, morir. But the R in Y is going to make the transition between the O and make the pronunciation to the I. So or la E. That would be the letter in white. Morir or better. Morir. 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 Ri, 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 ri. Morir. Morir. Referente. 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 O reparar. 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 And the same pronunciation, the third pronunciation that we have with the R, and that would be when is the R is between after a consonant. So it's going to be after any consonant that is going to be so strong, and then it's coming with a vowel. So there is the consonant is going to make the R to be a strong pronunciation like train, train, train. And I think that this pronunciation would be similar like in English, we would say train, train, or three, three. So that is the pronunciation that is similar when it's in front of any consonant. So very easy to get that one because the last one would be similar like in English. As well, we have bronca or uh, let's say like Brian, like Brian, Brian. So the same bronca, bronca, the same pronunciation, or with the F, frío, frío, or fryer, fryer, or fry, Friday. Yes, and we can use that one as well. So that would be the three type of consonant we are going to or pronunciation for the R, but we are going to practice this. So the R, it shouldn't be it's going to be one of the hardest one to get, but with a lot of practice you will be able to master the R. Okay, but if you were thinking that we finished with the R, no, still we have more. So what about if we have like a little duck, okay? So now there is another type, another things that we have to master with the R, and is that with the R you will say perro. So the same R when it's in front of the hour, but is with double R, making the another of the digraph that we was talking at the beginning. So why you have to make that double R? Why you have to do that? So well, remember that we was saying that when it's between two vowel, so the pronunciation would be like better, right? So in this case, if you won't put the two R, that would be like pero, like better, pero, and that means but in when you translate. Pero means but perro means dog. So in order to make like the R pronunciation after the vowel, like ra, re, ri, ro, ru, you have to put two vowel in order to make that pronunciation and also to have the meaning. So for example, perro mean a dog, but pero mean a bat. So now if you are reading that, you will say, as you can see, Mike, when I was saying reading, I was using the tongue reading. In English, you will say more like reading. But if you see somebody that is from Spanish, we say reading. I'm reading, and the people they will say, "Oh, you speak Spanish because you are using more the R." So the same, like if you say reading, that would be in English, but in Spanish you will say more people will say, "Oh, I'm reading." So you are moving the tongue a little bit. So anyway, so here we have the reason why you will need to put the double R in order to make that pronunciation when it's between vowels. Perro. And when you want to use only one R, you will use it like better. Pero, ro, 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 ro. Ro, ra, ri, ro, ru. Ra, re, ri, ro, ru. Or ra, re, ri, ro, ru. So you can see the difference when using the R. So let's go to see some sample here. So you say ha, ra. So there is two vowels and you are going to use the double R. Jarra o derretir, 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 derrumbar, derrumbar. Now here we have another sample. So here we say when, because it's only between two vowels, how you will pronounce this one. Can you pronounce that one? Caro, caro. Oh, like, oh, I think that in English you would say Carol. So is that pronunciation like we said the name Carol? So here you can see that pronunciation. Caro is mean something that is expensive. That is caro, muy caro. It's expensive. But if you put the two double R, you say carro, and this is a car. So you can see, if you make the pronunciation, you will say, "Oh, this is what a beautiful carol you have." No, if you say carol, there are people. Well, if you are pointing to something, they will say, "Oh, yeah, he's saying that the car, but he's pronouncing caro and supposed to be carro." So still people will see that it's not your native language, but again, if you are reading something where people they cannot see what you want to or what you are pointing, so they won't understand and they will say, "What do you mean? You mean that it's expensive?" Maybe they will be able to find out because the context of what you are reading. But yeah, but if you don't pronounce well, you can mix between caro and carro. So we are going to practice more and more this letter because that would be the same like the ñ and the R is two that is going to be super hard to get. But we are going to keep practicing this one. So next we have la letra S. S is going to be similar like English. It's going to be the same, not much different. Like you will use soon, or safe, happiness. So it's going to be S. And we have sa, se, si, so, su. The same like in English. And when using at the end with a vowel, it's going to be the same as, is, os, us, like plural, you will say es. So we have some sample here like saber, besos, sí o no, sí o no. And now by now you will know what means sí. And somos. So somos, you can see at the end I'm using with the vowel, and somos. Somos. And most of the time you will use it also for plural, to make a plural or to build a plural. Later we are going to talk about that. Sumar, sumar, presidente, cama, camas. So here you can see that is the plural. Cama is only one bed, cama, but if you put as at the end, so that will build the, that would be part of the grammar that in second class we are going to practice the grammar. It's going to be easy, but you can see that the pronunciation at the end, camas. So that is the S. Not much to say. This is going to be easy for English speaker because the S is the same. So next we have the T or la T. La T. And the pronunciation would be the same like in English as well. Like you say two or tomatoes. And here we have ta, te, ti, to, tu. And we have catarata, catarata, catarata. Tiempo, tiempo, tomate, 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 patatas, so the same, estudiar, estudiar, petróleo, so the same, the T, not much different, so we can patch to the next one, it's going to be V, V, and at the beginning I was talking about the different uh, by the way, some people they will call this uve, uve or la v, uve or v. So when people want to say in Spanish, oh, you write that with uve or la v, so that refers both to the same v or v in English. Um, and that is a pronunciation that it shouldn't be any problem for English speaker, because in English you make the difference when you say V and B. V and B, that make a big difference, but in my native country like in Cuba, people won't make any difference. Even when you are writing something with V, still they pronounce like B. So it's going to be like in English like vapor, vapor, or victory, as well as device, vice. Okay, so we have va, ve, vi, vo, and vu, and we have volumen, volumen, or vaca. So if you will see, if you will hear somebody in some Spanish country, they will say vaca because they won't say vaca. But you know that, okay, so some people they will make the difference, but if you pronounce vaca is the right way to say. O vivir, avaro, venir, vulgar. So again, it's not going to be a big um, a big difference from English, because people in English they pronounce the V correctly. So next we have la doble V. So remember last lesson we was saying V or la V. So V is and here we have double V or double V. So double V. So W. Some people will say W or double V. So that is because there is two V. So there's a double V or double V or double V. And the pronunciation for W will be similar like in English, we say Google or guacamole. So still we have the same like a what or welcome, and English speaking. There's no they won't have any trouble with this because they know very well this letter. So they will say wa, we, wo, and wu. In English, in Spanish, sorry. So that would make a big difference because they won't find how to pronounce sometimes that word because it's very difficult to find some words in Spanish that start with W. Most of them they are imported as well from other country, and in most of cases they will pronounce like wa or wam, like in wam. So they will use the g or la he. Remember that we was using wu, we. So they will use the same, and sometimes they will try to write even um, with the he instead of with w. So web, some people they will try to write with he web, but in reality is web because it's coming from English web, and Kuwait, another important words, Weimar. I think that in English it's very easy for people to pronounce this one because they know the pronunciation. Or if you will have whiskey, so people they in Spanish they will write he, and remember that if you need to make the pronunciation like the he with the u and e, you will have to put the two dot on the top like whiskey in order to make that pronunciation. If not, you will say gisky. So whiskey, um, and if you are from if somebody know actually how to write whiskey, they will know that you have to write with the double la doble b and also ashes. So, but that is the way that people they will write in English whiskey as well. Hollywood and Walkman. So that is the how you pronounce the double b, number different for English speaker. So the next one is going to be la X. La X is pronounced the same like in English, like expel or latex. So here we have, depending on the position, the Spanish letter X has these two consonant sounds. So the first one we are going to say when it's placed inside or at the end of every word. So here and the other sound is played when it's at the beginning. So let's go to see some difference here. So some practice. So maximo. So it's similar like in English as well. So max, maximo or mixto or mix. So that we have the same pronunciation. It's like a K and S, mix, mixto, extrañar, extrañar. So that is in front of a vowel, extrañar, and also máximo is always put the K and the S, máximo, or extrañar. Now, when it's at the beginning, it's like a S, is xenophobia, xenophobia, it's like a S. Xenophobia, I think that in English we have the same when it's at the beginnings, like xenoph, uh, xilófono. Now, here we have only one difference that in few words you will have the when it's in the middle and you will use S and is Mexico. So that pronunciation is more like Maximo or but at the same time with the S, Mexico, Mexico, and we have sexto. Actually, Mexico, that would be more for English, but in Spanish we say Mexico, Mexico. So we use with S, Mexico. And then we have sexto, and that would be for, then the next one would be la letra Y. Y, that is how we call it. It's a long name for just a letter. We say Y, Y for the Y, okay? And the pronunciation, that would be like the J in English. So here we have Benjamin. So like you pronounce like Benjamin, or July. So that would be the Y or la Y. You will use like at the beginning, like J, like July. So that is the pronunciation, or Jasmine, Jasmine in English. So of course, if you are not going to pronounce like Jasmine, you're going to say Jasmine. So let's go to see some practice for this letter. So there is two pronunciation as well. So first is with the letter like J, like la J in English, or like J in English. So you say ya, J, G, yo, and you. Ya, J, G, yo, you. And for example, you say ya for ready, or plebeyo, yo, plebeyo, proyectar, proyectar, and yate, yate, yate. Then we have the other pronunciation that have la Y is pronounced like E, that letter E in English. So E, and when it's using, when it's at the end and in front of a vowel. So you will say buey, or you will say Uruguay, E, or even when there is I, because remember that the la H, you don't pronounce the H. So when it's in front of a vowel or at all, so you say I. So it's la A and then la I. I, I. So now la Y is becoming like a E. I. So here we have some samples. So now here you see that it's at the end and in front of a vowel that become like a E. But if it's between between the two vowel, now would be like ya, yo, you, like leyes or ley. So both vowel the same. Ley is the low, but when this a plural, you say leyes. Leyes or ley. Ley is only one, and plural leyes, multiple law. Leyes. But you can see the pronunciation change there. Or for example, you say hoy. So the same like hoy. What mean hoy? Today. Hoy. Because the H doesn't have pronunciation. O and then like hoy. So that would be for the letter la Y. So like J. And the last letter is going to be the Z or la Z. Z. That is the name in Spanish for this letter. Z. And that will be the pronunciation like a strong S in English. And that will be like sound. Sound. So it's a strong S like sound. Or son. So we have za, ze, z, zo, and zu, like zapato, zapato, zapato. Now, and also zoológico, capaz, zebra, la zebra, zorro, or zurdo. Now, keep in mind that as well for people from Spain, not from Latin America, they will use la letra Z like TH in English, like thanks. So that means that they will say zapato, 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 capaz, zebra, zoológico, zoológico. But that is more typical for only people from Spain. Is only, but all Latin America they will use more like a strong S. So zapato or zapato, zapato, zapato. That would be just a small difference. Most of people they will use Latin America because people from Spain they will understand. I guess. The same like in English, people from America or North America and people from UK, they we have different pronunciation, but at the end they will understand. So that will be the all the vowel. But wait. Here we have now the. Let's go to take a look to all the diagraph. So we have ch. Okay, we have the double R. We have the G and U, and we have the Q and U and the double L. So we practice the double R, right? That is already done. Also, we practice the G and U. So remember that only is going to be like ga, ge, gi, go, gu. And when you're going to use the ge, like he, when you are going to use gi, like higa or giga or higa. So when you using the he, and we was using the same like q, it only can be used only with the u and the a. Is only these two. So only left we have these two left. So the first one we are going to say the ch. So the ch, the same like in English when you say child. So that pronunciation is very easy. For example, chamble or cash. And the second one is the double L. So the double L is the same pronunciation like we have like Y. Remember that we was practicing Y a couple minutes ago? So on our last lesson, Y like ya, ye, ji, yo, you, like July, like you use the J in July, or Joan or Jerome. So Y is ya, ye, ji, yo, you, and we just practice that. So has the same pronunciation, the double L. So let's go to take a quick look to the CH. We have chimenea, we have pecho, chocho, or chu chu chu. So that pronunciation is very easy. Bachata. Now, then we have the la Y or the double L like lluvia, lluvia or July. You see, lluvia. So Y and double L they have the same pronunciation. And now, most of the time you are going to use the double L because Y is only used for some words also that have been imported. So most of the time we use double L. So here we have as well like llave or pijama. So will you use pijama with double L? No, because it's an important word. So you will say pijama. So that is how you will say the difference. But most of the time, again, you will use the double L when you want to use that pronunciation like ya, or like July. You will use the double L. Now, some people, like my daughter, when she is writing something, she will ask, do you write this one with double L or with Y? So that is another things that you have to learn. So let's go to practice now a little bit this. So if I write this in English and Spanish, sorry, how can you pronounce and can you read that? So let's go to practice. So se encontró con, C-O-N, con una araña. So here we have the ñ. Gigante, and we have the he. So we have a practice. We already were practice this. He, and then when it's in front of a, gante, gigante, like gigabyte, and then we have the J with a, gante, gigante. What about if I now, okay, if I now I try to read something and you try to write? Okay, so I'm going to read something and you are going to write, and then see if you get that correct. So let's start. Let's say, una joven alegre, 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 gre, y aventurera, aventurera, aventurera. So I repeat, una joven alegre y aventurera. Can you write that? Let's see if you get it that correct. There we go. Una is una. So that would be the J. Joven, alegre, alegre, alegre. Remember the consonant, the vowel at the beginning, and then consonant and vowel. Alegre y aventurera. Do you get that? All right, good. All right, so now let's go to try another one. This one is going to be longer, okay? Sorpresas, sorpresas, only one word, sorpresas, sorpresas, okay? Y, how you would write y? Sorpresas y los encuentros, encuentros inesperados, inesperados. Que, okay, can you remember que había, how you write había? What will be with this word? Había, vivido, ese día. Sorpresas y los encuentros inesperados que había vivido ese día. Can you write that? Let's see if you get it that correct. Ta-tan! And here we have that. So if you have some of these pronunciation that you couldn't get, I would recommend you to go back to some of these chapter. I'm going to leave in the description so you can just find each one and just keep practicing. But I'm pretty sure that you get at least one of those correct. So here we have another big story that I'm going to read, and then I'm going to show you the pronunciation and how you write as well. And then we are going to use the dictionary as well. So let's go to start with the first one. So I'm going to read a big story. It's a nice story, but this story have all the letters and all the pronunciation in Spanish. If you are able to write all this story, so this is your mastering in the in this training that is the Spanish. Okay, so let's go to see. Clara, una joven alegre y aventurera, decidió emprender un viaje inesperado a través de la vasta selva amazónica. Armada con valor y una mochila repleta de provisiones, comenzó su travesía al amanecer. De repente, un brusco cambio climático sorprendió a Clara. Una densa niebla cubrió el bosque, haciendo que la visibilidad fuera mínima. Determinada a continuar, Clara avanzó cautelosamente. En su camino se encontró con una araña gigante que tejía una telaraña alrededor de un arbusto. Sobresaltada, Clara retrocedió, pero recordó las historias de su abuelo sobre la bondad de la araña en la selva. Con valentía decidió observar de cerca y descubrió que la araña estaba atrapada en su propia tela. Delicadeza la liberó y continuó su camino. Mientras caminaba, Clara divisó un rincón escondido donde había un anciano con una barba blanca y un sombrero de ala ancha. El anciano le dio la bienvenida con una sonrisa amistosa y le ofreció un té caliente para resguardarse del frío repentino. Clara, agradecida, aceptó el gesto y compartió sus experiencias en la selva con él. Después de una charla reconfortante, Clara prosiguió su viaje. Al caer la noche, encontró un campamento abandonado donde decidió descansar. Mientras se acurrucaba en su saco de dormir, Clara reflexionó sobre las sorpresas y los encuentros inesperados que había vivido ese día. Con una sensación de gratitud, cerró los ojos y se dejó llevar por el sueño, lista para enfrentar nuevos desafíos al amanecer. Al día siguiente, Clara continuó su travesía con renovados vigor, sabiendo que cada encuentro, ya sea con la naturaleza o con extraños amistosos, enriquecía su viaje de una manera única, con el corazón lleno de emoción y determinación. Clara siguió adelante, lista para lo que el destino le deparara en la vasta y misteriosa selva amazónica. So, this is what I was reading, and what I want is that you follow what I was reading and see if you can get all the pronunciation, and also if you try to write what I was reading. So if you can write everything, and or if you can read with the same pronunciation, so that would be the mastering with the ABC. We don't need that you know what mean each word. All that we have to concentrate is in the pronunciation, and if you can write by just listening what I was reading. So hopefully you will be able to master the ABC, because that would be so important for our next step, which is going to start with the grammar. So by now you will know how to, when I write something, how that would be pronounced, how you can write that, and then we are going to start finding the meaning of every word. So hopefully you like this training. I know that it's a really long training, but that would be the most important and the basic. of the language. Remember, as I said before, so the ABC is going to be the backbone of the grammar and also to learning as well the language, because by learning how you write and read, so then you will be able to continue with other part of the language. So until here, so we will see you on the next lesson. So hasta la vista, chao, adiós, nos vemos.